Alright guys, this is a review for the Casio WK-210 series keyboard. This is more of a workstation keyboard than a kid-friendly keyboard. You can use this definitely for kids. They definitely gear it toward the kid-oriented learning experience. There's definitely other type of keyboards you can use for learning. But this one is actually kind of a nice duo. If you are just learning the keyboard and piano and your chords and stuff, this keyboard's perfect, along with more of an advanced player who has an actual piano like myself and who wants to use this keyboard not just to play on, but to also use the MIDI capabilities on a computer. This keyboard actually works great as a workstation keyboard. I haven't seen too many reviews on this. I've seen demos of how it's played, this and that and such, but I really want to go in depth about how the keyboard works, what you can do with it, what are the features, and so on. And then eventually I'll do more videos with how the sound quality is, how do you hook it up to your PC or Mac. Mine will probably be a Mac, for example. But this has 570 tones, 180 rhythms, easy to follow lesson plans, play along songs, effects, and more. The 76-key Casio WK-210 digital keyboard workstation is an endless source of inspiration for creative players. The Casio's keyboard voice pad function enables not only voice samples, but also other effects and sounds you can play back using the pads. This has a Casio setup and learning system. So step 1 would just be to listen, step 2, see and repeat with visual support, and step 3 would remember the play without help. It also has additional learning functions, voice pad functions. It has Casio music presets. It has USB plug and play with song expansion. It has an audio input. This gives you the ability to connect a CD or MP3 player to the audio input on your Casio WK-210 keyboard. Then you can play your favorite tunes via the loudspeakers on the keyboard in half playback, so you can play along with the keyboard part. This is a good alternative to MIDI playback, particularly if you don't want to edit the song. This does feature 76 notes or 76 keys, and it's you can also listen, sing along, and play with 152 top quality preloaded songs in a variety of genres. Whether you're giving a live performance to an audience or you're alone in your living room, an impressive 10 reverb effects enhance the sound diversity of your keyboard. The Casio's keyboard sequencer, 5-track, 6-track, 5 songs, you can record your own ideas quickly and easy in real time. Capacity of 12,000 notes. This also comes with a power adapter and the music stand in the back, and has 76 dynamic touch keys, and out of those 76, 48 note polyphone AHL sound source. So basically what that means is it gives you more of a realistic sound when you're playing such things as a piano. It has step-up lesson systems, scale tuning, arpeggiator, rhythm editor, sampling function, that audio in terminal for MP3 player, microphone input, headphone connection. The loudspeaker is a 2 by 2.5 watt for impressive sound and balance. So overall, this is actually a very diverse keyboard, has many different functions, and offers the end user a pretty good experience. So that's just some specs of the keyboard itself. And they do come in 2 models, the WK-200 and the WK-210. The only difference between the two is the color of the plastic and the color of the screen right here. The WK-210 is obviously blue, the WK-200 is orange. The WK-210 is in silver bezel. The WK-200 is in a more of a champagne color. So let me give you a brief overview of basically what it sounds like. I'm not going to get into too much demos of how the whole entire keyboard and the sound effects sound and such, but this is just an overview of what you can actually do and what you can actually add on and accessorize with this keyboard. Now, the one thing I definitely have is a sustain pedal. Now, this does not come with the Casio WK-210 or any Casio keyboards, unless you get the performance style pianos, and they're more of the upright that come with a stand built in with the pedals. But this is an M gear It actually has like a really solid feel. It has a pretty heavy bass, has rubber grip at the bottom, and just depressing it by hand, it has a really tough spring. You can actually see it back there, a really tough spring, and it gives you more of a realistic feel, like you're playing a real piano. But that's the sustain pedal. Pretty straightforward. You can get it on Amazon.com. But M-Gear, really good sustain pedal, and it does work with the WK-210 series keyboard. Now another thing that I have is I have a Casio ARDX XX keyboard stand. Now this is available on Amazon. Now I was weary about buying this keyboard because I've heard a lot of complaints about how high this keyboard stands. The keyboard, with the standard set manufacturer specs, it stands over 28 inches in height, and that's just the base here. So you're adding another at least 4 inches to where you're starting to play. Now it's a little high for most keyboards. A lot of keyboard manufacturers will go between 22 to 30 in that area. 28's kind of high in my and how I feel about playing. And you know what? I'm not the only one. On Amazon, a lot of people are complaining about this keyboard, how high it sits. But there's an easy solution. I don't know if you can see it, but in the back there, if you see, like right there, you see that metal bar that I put in? It's an aluminum plate. And basically all this is basically, this is an aluminum plate I put in, and it's solid. It's not that thin. It's only like maybe like 1/8 of an inch thick. This is the original nut that came with the keyboard stand, and it only goes up to here. Now I drilled 2 holes into this metal aluminum plate, put a screw here and a screw here with a bolt behind it. That gives it some stability. And I really tightened this one up too. Really, really tight so it can't move. That's actually enough to keep this keyboard from falling down, obviously. And I extended it probably 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 holes in each direction. It actually works really well. So if anyone has this XX keyboard from Casio, just go to Lowe's or Home Depot. They sell them in the hardware section. And you can just get a couple little bit of screws and bolts and a metal plate, and you can lower your own keyboard. And a regular electric drill can drill through the soft aluminum very easily. And a hacksaw can cut it down to what you need it to. So it's actually a very easy fix. So the part I really like about this keyboard the most is actually the realistic piano sound. That's that AHL I was explaining earlier. That's basically sampling like a realistic piano, and it does a really nice way of doing a reverb. So to select it, you just hit tone, and it's 001, which is the standard grand. And the thing I like about the most about this sound is the reverberation that I get at the bass. Sometimes they sound a little muddy. They sound tinny at the top. This actually sounds pretty decent with the reverb they put on it. And this is what a low note sounds like. Here's a really low one. So that sounds actually pretty realistic. And here is a high note. So it gives you an idea of the realistic sound of this piano. I'm going to play something really quickly so you can actually hear kind of like what it sounds like in a real scenario of actually playing some music. Now this is a Jim Brickman piece if anyone's curious, and it's called Simple Gifts off of his Beautiful World album. that's basically the song and what it sounds like when you play it and put it all together. Now this keyboard also has a USB input on it. So basically what you can do is hook this up, and there's many keyboards out there that you've seen probably even at the Apple stores where they sit in front of the Mac and they're very small. They have only like maybe 32 keys. They even make larger ones, but they get substantially expensive. Now this Casio WK-210, the beauty of this is that it offers all these sounds built into the keyboard. Not only that, you can treat it like a workstation keyboard, and you get 76 keys. Now I got this off of a website. I got it for $89 refurb. The thing was like practically brand new when I got it. It was awesome. Really good deal. The keyboard retails on Casio's website for $299. You can probably get it on Musician's Friends for about $180. But different sites, search around, get the best price. Really good workstation keyboard. Now, the nice thing about this is that if you hook it up to a Mac, and this also does work on a PC, so guys, if you're on a PC, don't worry. There's many programs out there, and there's YouTube videos about them on how to hook them up to a PC. But yes, they do work. This keyboard does work on a PC. But I'm just showing you because usually people are asking, hey, I know it works on a PC, but does it work on a Mac? It does. And this keyboard is, sorry, excuse me. This keyboard is compatible with Garageband. Now, for example, if I want to put a track in here, up top here, and I want to record, you can hear the keyboard still playing off of the main sound of the keyboard. But let me turn on my speakers and turn up the volume. Now it's coming in the front. And this is actually samples from GarageBand now. This has nothing to do with the sound that's on the keyboard. So it's totally different. And I can actually change, like over here, I can change the sound of the piano. So let's go on stage and you'll hear a different sound. You can go to a swirly electric. We can even do different horns now, like a pop horn section. You can even do different types of organs, like a jazz organ. So all sorts of different things that you can hook your keyboard up. And yes, this keyboard I have has over 570 tones. And now I even have more because I can hook it up to a computer like GarageBand and have even more sounds. And I can even purchase more sounds for this as well. So that gives you an idea basically. But this is just a brief overview of the WK-210 by Casio. And I'll eventually start posting piano pieces of me playing so you can get an idea of what the piano can do and what it's capable of doing. Alright, if you have any questions, just give me a holler if you want to see different parts of the keyboard and explained more in depth. Or if you have any questions about this keyboard, just give me a holler, leave a comment, and I'm sure to get back to you. Thank you.